Hey Team Thunder, welcome to workout number 4. Today we are doing a cardio workout. So in case you find it difficult to get outside to go for your run or bike or swim, this is a great opportunity for you to still get some strength and endurance training in while working on your cardiovascular endurance. How it's going to look is that we have 5 moves that we'll do for 20 seconds each. We will take 10 seconds between each set of our exercises, and during that 10-second rest, you're going to do a boxer stance. So we consider this an active recovery. I'll show you what that looks like in a moment. So you are still moving during that rest time rather than sitting down or just standing and taking a breath. So we will repeat this circuit 8 times if you want to do a total of 20 minutes. Today we're going to do a set of 6 so that we have 15 minutes of exercise. We're going to start off with a warm-up, and we will also implement a cool-down this time. If you are following along with the worksheet, make sure you go ahead and check off those sets. I am using the 20-second timer that is also included in the worksheet, and we are ready to get started. So first off, I'm going to show you what your active rest will look like, because while you are active resting, I am going to show you what the next activity is, okay? So the boxer stance, it looks like this. You have your non-dominant foot forward and your dominant foot back. You're going to have your hands up by your cheeks in a fist position, and they're kind of protecting your jaws, and you are just alternating back and forth into your front and your back leg. Just kind of hopping from front to back. So that is your rest, and that will give you time to recover while still moving. Okay? We're going to get started with our dynamic warm-up today. We've chosen 6 dynamic exercises to start with, and we're going to do each for 20 seconds. So we'll do high knees, ankle hops, cross crawls, lunges, toy soldiers, and a quad reach and hold. Let's go ahead and get prepared for that. For our dynamic warm-up, we're going to start off with high knees. You're just going to go ahead and get those knees all the way up to your belly button. If you are feeling it, you could even do running high knees, but I'm just going to do walking high knees this time for a total of 20 seconds. Good work, everybody. We've got 5 more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Stopping there. Next up, we are doing ankle hops. So you're just going to hop in place, taking those heels off the ground. Your toes are slightly coming off the ground. Just a simple little hop. Dynamic exercises are where we are moving while stretching, helping our joints and our muscles move through the full range of motion. 3, 2, and 1. Stopping there. Next, we have cross crawl. You're going to go ahead, put your arms up in the air, and you're going to lift your knee while crossing your elbow across your body so that your opposite elbow and knee are touching. Dynamic exercises help to get our body prepared for the more vigorous work to come. This helps to reduce injury. It helps to prepare your body for work, and it gets the blood flowing. 3, 2, and 1. Great, next up we have lunges. You can do forward or reverse lunges. You're going to go ahead and take a step forward, lowering that back knee, making sure your front knee stays behind your toe. You can go ahead and alternate here. I'm doing front lunges right now, where you're taking a step forward, alternating right and left feet. You could also do reverse lunges, where you're taking a step back. It looks the same, balancing with your weight distributed between your front and your back foot while you take a step backwards. 3, 2, and 1, and last one there. Next up, we have toy soldier. This is a hamstring stretch. You're going to go ahead and kick one leg into the air, reaching for that toe with your opposite hand. Again, make sure it's your opposite toe and arm. Your hamstrings are those muscles in the back of your thigh. And we are loosening those up. Nice work in 3, 2, and 1. Lastly, we have a quad stretch. We're going to go ahead and pull that toe into your glute. You do not want your foot over here. That's bad for your knee joint. So go ahead and pull that heel into your glute. Hold for 3 seconds and then switch sides. It sometimes helps to have your opposite hand in the air. And switch. And switch. Think about pushing your pelvis forward so that your butt isn't sticking out, but that it is pulled forward toward the front. One more on each side. And that's it. Now we are ready for our circuit of 5 exercises. Remember, we're doing 20 seconds of work with a 5-second break, and we are going to start off with stationary sprinter. I am going to show you each of our 5 exercises before we begin. That way we can transition nice and quickly between exercises. Okay, we're starting with the stationary sprint. So you're in place, and you're going to go ahead and get those knees as high as you can. With your hands by your side, fist clenched, bringing your arms up and down as you are running. Remember, keep that whole core tight and your body in alignment. And stopping there. Our next one is the squat thrust. The way that this one works is you are bending down into a squat, touching the ground with your palms flat on the ground. You're going to jump your feet back into a plank. Notice your back is nice and straight. Jump those feet forward and reach up to the sky. Again, hands to palms down on the ground. Jump back, jump forward, up to the sky. Now, if jumping back is too much for you, you're just going to reach down with your palms down, step each foot back, and then step each foot forward, and standing up to center. Next, we have the Spider-Man mountain climbers. We also begin in knee plank position for these. So your hands are on the ground, your back is flat, your feet are pressed into the ground. You're going to go ahead and begin with taking your right knee, bringing it up to your arm, and going back to plank. Left knee, bringing it up to your elbow, and back to plank. You are alternating here, bringing your knee up to your arm. Again, if this is a challenge for you, just stay in this plank. And if you need to go ahead and drop to your knees, then drop to your knees. Okay? Next, we have the crisscross pickup. So this is also very similar to a squat. You are going to bend down into the squat. Your chest is open, your fingers touch the ground, and then you jump up while crossing your right foot in front of your left, and then jump back to your legs wider than hip width apart, squat down, jump up with your left foot over your right. So you're constantly switching, jumping up, crisscrossing those legs, one in front of the other, alternating each time, squatting down with that chest open. Lastly, we have the power plank. Again, in the power plank, you are down in that plank position, your hands are on the ground, your feet are back. You are going to leapfrog both legs forward, as close to your hands as you can get them, and then leapfrog them back. Maybe for you, that just means going like this. You get your feet maybe a couple inches in front of you. That's okay. The goal is to come all the way up to your feet and back. Again, if this is a challenge, just go ahead and bring that knee up to your chest, and then step it back. Knee up to chest, step it back. Now that we are ready, understanding what each exercise should look like and the modifications that you can use, let's go go ahead and get started. Starting off with those stationary sprints.
3, 2, 1, go!
Here we go. Getting those knees nice and high. Keeping your core tight. Bringing those arms up and down with your legs. Alright, we're in our active rest here. We're in your boxing stance. Moving from right to left foot.
3, 2, 1,
We have squat thrust, so coming down to the ground, jumping back to the top. Make sure the arms are planted on the ground. Again, if you just need to step back and step forward, that is totally fine.
3, 2, 1, stop!
Alright, back to our boxer stance. You can go ahead and switch sides with your dominant foot forward this time. Next up, we have Spider-Man mountain
3,
climbers.
2, 1, go!
In our plank, go ahead, bringing your
Round 3,
left arm to your left knee to your left arm, and your right knee to your right arm. Again, if this is a challenge, just so you're not plank.
3, 2, 1, stop!
Let's work our 10-second break here. Next up, we have crisscross pickup.
3, 2, 1,
In
go!
that squat position, squatting down and jumping
Round
up,
4,
crossing right in front of left. Left in front of right. Keep that chest open. Keep those feet a little bit wider than hip width.
3, 2, 1, stop!
Nice work. Back to our boxer
Halfway.
stance. Last, we have our power plank.
3, 2, 1, go!
Down in that plank, you're going to go ahead and bend your feet forward and jump them back. Try to keep your back flat as possible. And if you need to, step one knee up to your chest.
3, 2, 1, stop!
Good work. All right, folks, we get our 1-minute break here. This is our 1-minute break. So no active rest here. This is a true rest. It's good to do that active rest because it keeps our body moving, and because we're doing a cardio exercise today, we want that heart rate to stay high. But between sets, we can take that break so that we can prepare ourselves for the next set. As a reminder, today we are doing 6 sets. That was our first. So let's take a deep breath here and get ready for our second set. Again, starting
Here we
with
go.
our stationary sprinters.
4, 3, 2, 1, go!
Keeping that core tight. Getting those knees nice and high. Alright, you're in the active rest phase. Doing that boxer stance. We've got squat thrust next.
3, 2, 1, go!
Alright, squat down. Jump back into that plank. Jump forward up to standing. Again, if you need to just step back.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, stop!
Nice work. Get that boxer stance. We've got our Spider-Man mountain climbers next.
3, 2, 1, go!
Down in our plank. You can go ahead and bring that knee.
Round 3,
Elbow.
stop!
Good work. If you need an actual rest, go ahead and take a rest. You don't need to do the active rest every time.
3,
You're going
2,
to prepare for
1,
a quick
go!
cross pickup. Down in that squat, jumping up, crossing those legs. Nice work. Active here.
halfway.
Keep that boxing stance. Getting ready for our power plank.
3, 2, 1, go.
Power plank.
Round
We're
5.
stepping up and jumping back. Try to keep that back flat. Correct. You need to walk it up. Just walk it up. Tap that knee. And walk it up.
3, 2, 1, stop.
Woo! Nice job. That's the end of set 2. You may notice that this exercise is a little bit more challenging than our last few. While it is only body weight exercises, we are doing them in a way that gets our heart rate up. I'm breathing heavy. If I had to choose what my rate of perceived exertion was, I would say it's up to about 6 right now. I obviously can still talk, but it's getting a little harder. My breathing is getting a little heavier. This is Kaboo, by the way. This is our little puppy Kaboo. Because we're working on our cardiovascular endurance. So your muscles need more oxygen so that blood is coming in through your lungs so that it can get its way to your working muscles, get the oxygen to your working muscles. All right, let's go ahead for round 3. We have 4 more rounds. Getting
Here
ready
we
for
go
round
with
3, starting off with those
4,
stationary
3,
stance.
2, 1, go.
Your knees are high, your core is
Round
tight,
1.
your arms are going up and down. Hands back for those that active rest. Your boxer stance. Next we have squat thrust.
3, 2, 1, go.
Squatting down, jumping back to a plank, coming back up
Round
to
2.
stance.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1, stop.
Nice work. Back to that active rest. Next we have our Spider-Man mountain climbers.
3, 2, 1, go.
Get down to our plank. And you're going to go ahead and
Round
bring
3.
that knee to your elbow. Again, if you need to rest here, take that plank and take your knees. It's still working on that plank in your core.
3, 2, 1, stop.
Back up to our active rest. Next up, we have our crisscross pickup.
3, 2, 1, go.
Squatting down,
Round 4.
jumping and crossing. Keeping that chest open. Yawn.
3, 2, 1, stop.
All right. Another active rest here, and then we have our power planks. Nice work,
3,
everybody.
2, 1, go.
Down in that plank.
Round
Popping
5.
your legs outside your hands. Or maybe you're only here. So you can get them out. Keeping that core nice and tight.
3, 2, 1, stop.
Woo-hoo! End of round 3. Nice work. It's getting progressively harder, I would say. We just finished round 3. If you feel like you need more than a minute, go ahead and pause me so that you can take a 2-minute break and then come back. That is a-okay. We do want to take that 1 to 2 minute break. Lets our muscles regenerate, and it's a mini recovery. Just like sleep is important at the end of a day after you've had a big exercise, because your muscles need that rest, your brain needs that rest. It's okay to take these 1 to 2 minute breaks during exercise so that your muscles can rest. If you are moving from activity to activity without any rest, it can actually reduce your muscles' effectiveness, and you train your body to continue working when it's tired. And then we have improper form, right? So you want to make sure that you're always doing things with proper form. So giving your body the rest it needs so that it continues with proper form. is important. All right, let's get ready for round 4.
Here we go.
Round 4, starting with our stationary sprints.
3, 2, 1, go.
Putting those knees high, core
Round 1.
tight. Great work, folks. So complete here.
1, stop.
Hand tapping here, we're in our active rest. We're going to do squat thrust next. Keeping those hands up by your
3,
sides.
2, 1, go.
Squatting down, jumping back, and back up, and
Round
down.
2.
Thrust means that that's coming back up, standing. Hip thrust.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, stop.
Good job. Back to that. Soft jump stance. Next we have the
3,
Spider-Man
2,
mountain climber.
1, go.
Down in your plank. Bringing your knees to your elbow.
Round 3.
Your knees. Stay in plank. Just stay in that plank. Drop your knees. Drop your knees.
3, 2, 1, stop.
Nice work. Back to our boxer stance. Next up we have the crisscross.
3, 2, 1, go.
Go ahead, squat down.
Round
In
4.
front. We are on round 4. 2 are doing great. We have 2 more rounds to go after this. Usually in the middle is when you're most tired. Then you're ready to quit, but you're not going to quit. You're going to keep going.
3, 2, 1, stop.
Nice work. Back your head.
Halfway.
And then we have our power plank.
3, 2, 1, go.
Plank.
Round
Go
5.
ahead. Jump those knees, your feet up by your hands, and back to plank. First, you want to make sure you have your form right. Once you have your form right,
1, stop.
once you have your form right, then you can work on speeding it up.
5,
End of round 4. Excellent work, folks. As I was saying, typically when you have a couple sets to do, let's say today we have 6 sets to do, by the time you get to the middle, that's when you start thinking, I'm going to give up. This is too hard. I don't want to do this. I only want to do 4 sets. I don't want to do 6 sets. But all of that is negative self-talk, and that is not how Thunder treats themselves. So remember, positive self-talk makes a huge difference. And when you're feeling tired, all you have to say is, wow, this is really hard right now, but I'm going to keep pushing through it because I know I can make it to the end. So it's really important to remind yourself that, man, even though it's hard, I'm going to keep going. Because by the time you finish all the sets you initially intended on doing, then you feel so much better about yourself. All right, we are getting ready for round 5. We have 2 more sets before we complete our cool down. You've got it, everybody. Keep it up. All right, round 5, starting with our stationary sprint.
2, 1, go.
Knees up high.
Round 1.
You may find you're slowing down. See if you can keep up that same momentum that you had at the beginning.
3, 2, 1, stop.
Woo! Back to our boxer stance. Next up, we have our squat thrust.
3,
Getting ready.
2, 1, go.
Down our squat, plank back, jumping and thrusting
Round
forward.
2.
Job. Back to that prancer. I said prancer. Boxer stance. I feel like I'm
3,
prancing.
2, 1,
All right,
go.
Spider-Man. Plank. Bringing that knee.
Round 3.
Or staying in a plank. Coming back up to standing. Doing that boxer stance. Or if you need, just go ahead and take a little rest.
2, 1, go!
Getting ready for our cross pickup.
Round 4.
Down and cross those legs. Nice work, everybody. We've got one more.
3, 2, 1, stop!
Jab. Back into that
Halfway.
boxer stance. We have our power plank
3,
next.
2, 1, go!
Power plank.
Round 5.
Down and jumping those feet forward and back. Like a front jump.
3, 2, 1, stop!
Woo! Nice job finishing round 5. And that was the end of round 5. We have one more round to make it 15 minutes. If you want to keep going, all you have to do after this next set is to do 2 more sets. 8 minutes will bring you to about 20 minutes. But we're going to do 2 more sets and then we'll do our cool down. I didn't mean 2 more, I meant 1 more. We just did our 5th round. So we have 1 more set. And then we'll have about a 3-minute cool down. Now's a good time to think about what you're going to do when you're done. Drink some water, take a shower, help with the chores. You probably are full of energy right now. Maybe you even want to go for a walk. Maybe it's a good time to help out around the house, things that you don't typically want to do, but you have a little bit of energy right now. What are you going to do next? And for dinner, what are you going to eat for dinner? Let's make it something healthy, lots of vegetables and whole grains. All right, we are ready for round 6. Let's get started.
Here we go.
Round 6, folks. We're starting off with our last and final round.
3, 2,
Stationary
1,
sprints. Getting those knees high. Keep up that energy. Nice work. Get them up, get them up.
3, 2, 1, stop!
Hold on, stop in here. We are in our boxer stance. Next, we have our squat thrust. Next.
3, 2, 1, go!
All right, going down into that squat, jumping back. Jumping up to standing.
Round 2.
Make sure you bring those hips all the way forward. Squeeze your glutes. Your glutes are your butt muscles.
5, 4,
Last one.
3, 2, 1, stop!
Stop. Back to that boxer stance. Next up, we have our Spider-Man. Spider-Man mountain
3,
climber.
2, 1, go!
Hamstring, stepping back. Use the elbows.
Round 3.
Again, a plank is good enough. A knee plank is good enough. If you need to stay here the whole time, keep those on around. It's understandable. This is a tough workout.
3, 2, 1, stop!
Nice job. Up to standing in our boxer stance. We have 2 more exercises left. We have our crisscross,
3, 2, 1,
pick up.
go!
Squat down, jump to
Round 4.
crisscross. Work, make sure you're keeping that chest open. It gets harder to keep this form, but it's more important than ever right now.
3, 2, 1, stop!
Nice work. Back to that boxer stance before our final exercise. We have our power planks.
3, 2, 1, go!
That plank,
Round
back, to the side, and back. Or you can just bring your knee to chest. Whatever is best for you for our final round.
3, 2, 1, stop!
Woohoo! Congratulations! End of round 6. You did it, folks! That was end of round 6. That was by far our most challenging exercise series to date. Again, it's because we were working on our cardio. The intention was to keep our heart rate up. Hopefully you did so, and hopefully you are full of energy. I know that I certainly feel much better now than I did before. Today we're going to implement a cool down. It is always important to do a cool down after your exercises. That could be a 5-minute walk, just something to help reduce your heart rate and bring it back to a more resting heart rate, and also to stretch out the muscles that we've been working to help them remember to relax. We're going to start off today with a hamstring stretch. We'll do a quad stretch, a calf stretch, a hip stretch, and a chest stretch. Let's go ahead and start off with that hamstring stretch. You're going to put one leg in front with your heel into the ground, your toe pointed up to the sky, and you're going to reach down to that toe. When you're doing static stretches, you want to hold that stretch for anywhere from 10 to 30 seconds. If you do it less than 10 seconds, it's not quite a static stretch. If you do it more than 30, the research shows it doesn't have any significant additional benefit. All right, we're going to go ahead and switch sides. Again, getting that heel pressed into the ground and your toe up to the sky. Try to keep your back flat. You don't want to be bent over. Try to keep it as flat as you can while reaching for that toe. Maybe you only get to your shin. That's okay. And go ahead and release. Next, we're going to do our quad stretch. You're going to go ahead, and this time, just like we did at the beginning, pulling your heel into your glute. But now we're just going to hold it. We're also working on our balance. And if this is a challenge for you, you can put a chair next to you. You can hold onto a wall. Something to stabilize you to help you stay in one place while you stretch that quad. Go ahead and switch legs. When you're doing a quad stretch, you also want to think about, again, pulling those hips forward. Remember, we did our thrust where your hips came forward every time. You don't want it back here. You want to make sure that you're pulling those hips forward while pulling your heel into your glutes. And moving on to our calf stretch. So in a calf stretch, you can just go ahead and kind of like a lunge, where one leg is forward, your other leg is back, and you are pushing your heel, your back heel, into the ground. This one helps a lot to find a wall where you can push against that wall and get an extra deep stretch into your calf. Go ahead and switch sides. This releases tension in our muscles. It thanks them for the hard work that they did. It says, it's okay to take a break now. All right, stopping there. Next up, we are going to do a hip stretch. So for the hip stretch, we're actually going to come down to the ground. You're going to have your feet out in front of you. You'll take one leg and cross it over your other. Then you're going to take, so I just took my right leg and cross it over my left. Now I'm going to take my left arm and cross it over your right knee. You should be pulling, I'm going to switch. Now for this hip stretch, you want your legs outstretched. I'm going to go ahead and take my left leg and cross it over your right. Then you take your right arm and cross it over that left knee. You actually want to push into that knee with your elbow, and you should feel a stretch in your hip here. Okay? If this is straining your back, then it means that you're rotating too much at the top, where you should be pushing in to that knee and feel that stretch right in your hip. Nice job. You're going to go ahead and switch sides, getting that left arm crossing over your right knee. Notice I have my hand behind me. This can help you to push. And stopping there. And last but not least, we're going to do a chest stretch. So for this chest stretch, you're going to come up to standing. You're going to clasp your hands behind you and just gently raise them. You should feel this stretch in your biceps, so in the front of your arms, and you should feel your chest opening. While you're doing this, make sure you're pulling your shoulder blades down your back. When I say that, these are your shoulder blades, they're in your back here. You want to pull them down your back. It should not look like this. That's not doing much of anything. You want to make sure that you are up straight, gently raising those arms. And release. For the best results, it is good to do each of those 3 times. So I suggest to you to take about 2 more minutes to do your hamstring stretch, your quad stretch, your calf and your hip and your chest stretch 1 to 2 more times and get that full cool down in there. Folks, you did an excellent job today. Thanks so much for joining me. Take your energy and go do something productive and eat something healthy. Take care.